This is a turning point in history, Mrs. Russell. But are we headed in the right direction?
We don't have a choice in the matter, Mr. McAllister. We must go where history takes us.
Welcome, my friends. It sure is time. Hi, I'm aesthety. Yeah, this is how I look like. And today I welcome you to my little Gilded Age parlor. How do you like my I'm all dressed up to the nines today with my little tailcoat that you can barely see, sadly. There is a reason why we're here and why I'm dressed the way I'm dressed. The reason why I'm dressed up and the reason why we're here is because I would like to talk to you about Met Gala today. Yes, Met Gala 2022. Listen, I know it's not the kind of usual kind of content I'm making so far, but I've watched the red carpet and I've read about the exhibition, and it's about fashion history after all, so it's kind of my niche as well. And I decided, why not? Why not give it a go? Because I think it's quite interesting in a way how certain things are being tackled, and also a couple of things really, really fucking annoy me. And it's one of those moments where I need a costume YouTuber to talk to. Somebody call Karolina Żebrowska because I need to discuss this. It's like this Kathy Griffin meme with I need to talk to a gay person, but like with a costume YouTuber. That's the situation here.
Oh, I need to talk to a costume YouTuber. Yeah, okay, I need a costume YouTuber. I need to talk to a costume YouTuber.
What do you need?
I need to talk to a costume YouTuber.
Costume side of YouTube, please gather around. Someone speak to me about this because I cannot deal with it by myself. What the fuck was happening? Please tell me why. So, without further ado, Met Gala. Let's talk about this, shall we? Okay, so let me recap real quick. Met Gala 2022. After cancellation in 2020, obviously because of the complications, because of the COVID, the Met Gala is back on track in early May, as it usually is. And it's no surprise that Metropolitan Museum, kind of in times of crisis caused by the pandemic, in search of an inspiration for their annual exhibition, kind of turned their eye inwards into the domestic rather than the international. And, in that kind of way, they looked into the rekindling of pride of all American heritage. And this is something I want to circle back to later, but let's just put a pin on this. So yeah, fundamentally, there was an idea for an exhibition that was like a two-part exhibition called In America. Part one happened in 2021 and was called In America, a Lexicon of Fashion. And this year, in 2022, we have In America, an Anthology of Fashion. The first part was looking into the kind of patchwork, both as a textile technique and as a kind of metaphor for the diversity of American society. This year, however, the exhibition looks at American historical fashions that are kind of looked at in conjunction with where they are placed, which is American Wing of the Met. American Wing is a set of period rooms. So basically, there's an interior design that kind of alludes to different periods of history, from 18th century to Frank Lloyd Wright of the beginning of 20th century. And the fashions are men's and women's clothing that are from 18th century up until now. Amongst others, we can see a coat of George Washington, President of the United States. We can see the works of Elizabeth Keckley, who was a black seamstress and who bought herself out from enslavement because of her talents as a dressmaker. And she went on to design dresses for Mary Todd Lincoln, who was Abraham Lincoln's wife. We also see the works of Anne Lowe, another black designer who was underappreciated at her time, who designed dresses for another First Lady, Jackie Kennedy. We see works of Charles James, and we'll see the works that were in famous Battle of Versailles in 1973. So, as we know, the famous now first Monday of May, we have Met Gala, which is basically a launch party for the exhibition. And this launch party has its theme, has its dress code. This year's dress code was Gilded Glamour and White Tie. And what does that mean? The guests were asked to, quote, embody the grandeur and perhaps the dichotomy of Gilded Age New York. Gilded Age. What does it mean? Well, for those of you who don't know, Gilded Age was a period of American history that was spanning the last 3 decades, around more or less, last 3 decades of 19th century. And fashion-wise, it's a great period to explore, especially for an occasion such as Met Gala. And for the occasion of Met Gala, launching an exhibition that tackles fashion history. Right? It's perfect. When it comes to looks, fashion of Gilded Age is full of maximalism, full of form, complex drape, and mixed design references. Think Moulin Rouge, think Anna Karenina, that kind of thing. This is the vibe, basically. And you've got the hats, the gloves, the bustles, the parasols, the works. Fashion historian and curator Kate Stratton says about the period that it was very embellished, very exaggerated, and very structured. And obviously there's so much to choose from. There's you can just focus on one detail and rework it in a modern way, or you can make a social commentary. You can play around with such a variety of choices, right? And not even that, it should be easy for everyone, because basically we are already there in a sense. There are goal sets, which we already see so much of, in today's fashions. And large bum, which, come on, we are in the age of a bum, right? We're in the age of an ass. So how hard could it be, big sleeves, cinched waists, big asses, we're already there. So why not to play upon it in intelligent and interesting and sartorial way, right? Would you say? Yeah. And his journals were full of hopes for the night. New York Times said, think Astor's, think Vanderbilt, think Whiteley's and Edith Wharton books, think gold corsets, bustles, big sleeves, think white, not black, think excess, about the expectations that we can have for the night. CNN, on the other hand, said, with famous focus on American designers at the gala, some of them will no doubt rise to the grandeur of their challenge, like Moschino's Jeremy Scott, whose opulent takes on historical references have included sending 18th century inspired panniers down the runway. Celebrities also called upon Christian Siriano and Pierre Moss for their over-the-top, highly structural couture pieces, or look back for vintage Alexander McQueen designs from across the pond that employed nods to the era, like caged crinolines. Caged crinolines. Yeah. And what did we get? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you shitting me? I'm sorry. Let's yeah. Met Gala is a fashion event of the year.
The Met Ball is the Super Bowl of social fashion events.
It's actually, it's not just the fact that, it's a red carpet thing. It's not, just a case of, it's like another awards show or whatever. No, this is literally the fashion event, not because you have red carpet, it's because it is the launch of the most important fashion exhibition in the world, right? This is a art form that is being explored here, you know? Like, it's an art form that's been explored and cultivated in the exhibition. And you practice this exploration and this celebration by participating in a fashion discourse. The curators give you a theme, and you have to adhere to this theme in a respectful nod towards their efforts. Like, there is a huge curatorial effort and commitment to launch a very rich, very elaborate, very informative, very entertaining, a world-class exhibition that is about fashion history, right? And you are basically invited to celebrate this as an art form. And you comment in the clothes of your choice are the play upon the art form that you are invited to celebrate. You know what I mean? So like, this is the language, the fashion is the very language of the event, because you come to celebrate the art of dress, and you are being asked in specific fucking way to adhere to specific theme, and that in of itself is a celebration and promotion of the very art form you come to celebrate and to promote. And what do? You come with this. You know, apart from the fact that it's like Met Gala as an event is literally the most expensive event that you could ever get into.
The gala, considered to be one of the most exclusive...
The most exclusive
party invitation in America.
With like tickets literally costing 35 grand to get there. You've been given the gift of getting there. Most of them for free, I'm assuming. And you are celebrating this and being appreciative of the invite, choosing to dress like that when you were specifically asked to do the Gilded Age thing. You know what I mean? That's it really fucking grinds my gears. That's why I said I need to speak to the fucking costume side of YouTube. Please, somebody call me. Really. my email's down there. Text me, please. The dress is the means, not only in a sense of you dressing up to come here, but it's also the aim of this night. It's the means and the aim. It's the whole language. It's the whole language of the art form that is being celebrated right now. Right? Yeah. Let's establish the basics. Do we understand what is happening? That it's not just a night to come and drink champagne and do pouty lip to the camera and that's it. Like, do we get this? Do we get that? This is literally one of the 3 nights a year where we can see a couture alive. Like, literally not shown just on mannequins and models, but like being alive somewhere. And many people are looking forward to it. And you, my friends, my dear celebrity friends, are fucking it up for all of us. That's why we're so mean to you. And that's why everybody gets so snappy about the Met Gala and your choices, because you are being disrespectful towards the fucking event and towards the privilege of you being wanted there. It is the language which this exhibition and art form speaks. And to shit on the dress code is to shit on the very merit of this exhibition. Is to literally disrespect curators' effort to pull this thing off. you know? I mean, just look at Kourtney Kardashian.
So, Courtney, when you heard that the theme was Gilded Glamour, like, what did that mean to you?
I honestly didn't really think about it.
Look at the time. You do not deserve to be there, honestly. Like, I'm sorry, who invited this person? Like, did you see her reaction? Did you see how she spoke to the lady? Why the fuck you're there? Like, why are you there? I'm genuinely asking. So, okay guys, I know, like, I'm being really worked up about this right now, but to understand my frustration here, okay, just to get the context and the gist of what I'm talking about, let's just have a quick look at the... Alright, Gilded Age, 1870s to roughly around 1900s, sometimes 1910s. Coincides with second half of Victorian period in UK and Belle Epoque period in France. An unparalleled cultural, political, sociological, and most importantly, industrial growth in the United States. An important moment in American heritage. America goes through the so-called Second Industrial Revolution. The US has its highest economic growth rate to date. It plunges headfirst into self-made, domestic, heavy industry. Railroad network is everything. It's the first time ever it connects an entire continent together. American railroad millage tripled between 1860s and 1880s and tripled again by 1920s. Opening new areas to commercial farming, creating a truly national marketplace, and inspiring a boom in steel production and development of modern financial system. The Gilded Age commences with an iconic event that was the opening of the first transcontinental railroad in 1869, providing a 6-day service between East Coast and San Francisco instead of 6 months. 6 days instead of 6 months. Imagine. It's like telling us we could travel from London to New York in like an hour and a half. That's the equivalent. Imagine, like, it would blow our minds, right? How exciting. The enormous expansion of rail and telegraph lines after 1870 allowed unprecedented movement of people and ideas, which in turn generated new career paths and culminated in a new wave of globalization. Civil engineers are a hot commodity. Northeast of US urbanizes at breakneck speed. People flock en masse to the city areas, leaving farming in favor of now widely available unskilled labor in large metropolitan settlements, working in factories, mills, mines, and railroads. Railroads, oil, mining, and steel defines a newfound might of America. Electricity. Electric power delivery spreads rapidly around Gilded Age cities. The streets were lit at night. The electric streetcars allowed for faster commuting to work and easier shopping. The United States became a world leader in applied technology. It became a leader in industrialization. After observing an assembly lines in the meat industry, Frederick Winslow Taylor brought his learnings to other industries. This unleashed an incredible productivity and reduced costs of commodities produced on assembly lines. The average family unit for the first time transforms its role from that of producer to that of consumer. The rapid expansion of industrialization led to real wage growth of 60% between 1860s and 1890. Spread across the ever-increasing labor force. The Census Bureau, for example, reported in 1892 that the average annual wage per industrial worker rose from $380 in 1880 to $565 in 1890, a gain of 48%. Although in business, powerful nationwide trusts formed in some industries, unions crusaded for the 8-hour working day, the abolition of child labor, middle-class reformers demanded social service reform, and women's suffrage. America leads the way. So, one would say that, after shitty post-Trump times, one would think that, you know, while being American, it would be nice to look back at times of growth and excitement and innovation and cultivate a sense of well-deserved pride to boost the gloomy post-2020s morale, right? Right? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, you know? And listen, of course, I don't think that, you know, everything was super peachy during the Gilded Age, right? I mean, it wasn't. I mean, obviously, it wasn't by a long shot. On the flip side, for example, you know, the industrialization caused a large monopolization. There was a problem with corruption. Favoritism was running rampant, and it worried some people, you know. Economists, for example, concerned that US was becoming increasingly inegalitarian and the point of aspiring to kind of become the old world Europe and to quote unquote, and further away from its original pioneering ideal. I'm not saying that Gilded Age was perfect, but what I'm saying is that it was interesting and exciting, and as such, it should be celebrated. And that is what I believe, the curators of Met Gala were trying for it to make it happen, you know? That was the thing, that was the point of the night. The industrialization also created a nouveau riche, which is a new money type of people who, with unprecedented affluence, were aspiring to arrive at the social scene of the times. And here is where we look into fashion, because fashion is what allowed for this to happen, basically. The Carnegies, the Vanderbilts, the Rockefellers battling it out with old money types. A kind of story told of landed privileges versus a commercially gained capital, told via conspicuous leisure and conspicuous consumption, with fashion, you know, as its medium. Also, architecture. Architecture. The fucking architecture, man. The architecture. Look at that. In fashion, the invention of synthetic dyes and the electric looms resulted in faster fashion production and fashion accessibility. Under their bum-enhancing gowns, American women wear complicated undergarments, including corsets, crinolines, bustle pads, even steel rings to achieve the right shape and right silhouette. Menswear was highly formal too. With the newly popular tuxedo in the 1880s, it became the standard dress for the high-flying gentleman. The period provides some iconic fashion moments in American history as well. For example, Alice Claypool Vanderbilt enlisted haute couture designer Charles Frederick Worth to create a gown that was an homage to electricity for the Vanderbilt Ball in 1883. The gown itself had all sorts of embellishments that were designed to catch the light, and she had an electric torch that was really cutting edge at the time. She kind of resembled Statue of Liberty while celebrating a widespread electrization and electric power that was expanding in Gilded Age cities. Again, Strassden says that the garment has gone down in history as one of the most iconic fashion moments of the period. So, you know, back to Met Gala, why not reference that? How amazing would that be, you know, to make a little reference, to make a little commentary on that, for example. Vogue just launched their first issue in 1892. Why not go for this? Such an easy aim, right? Vogue. Whatever. Hats, millinery. Kate Freeing Strong went as far as wearing a taxidermied cat on her head and a collar that says Puss printed on it while attending costume party hosted by William and Alva Vanderbilt. Apparently, milliners in the era used so many feathers, wings, and stuffed dead birds in their hats that it caused the formation of the Auburn Society for the Protection of Birds in 1895. Where were the hats? It was like literally 4 hats. So disrespectful. I'm sorry, like, I'm really worked up about this. But yeah, these things annoy me, you know, like, I love fashion history, and that shit really grinds my gears. Sue me. Wait, there's more exciting things. With the invention of bicycle and the craze for it that followed throughout the 1890s, the first attempts at lady sportswear. Where is this? Actually, there was one that the guy did, and that was actually very good. But yeah, should be more of that, right? I mean, why not? There was an aesthetic movement, and it's not that aesthetic, but yeah, other aesthetic movement. Not lo-fi kind of. I just imagine like 1890s people listening to like an anime girl YouTube lo-fis and being like, yeah, that's the jam. I'm sorry. Forgive me. It's been a long day. Aesthetic movement. Yes, aesthetic movement espousing corsets in creation of a so-called aesthetic dress. Ooh, Gen Z is gonna love that one. Which ultimately marked the beginning of modern clothing. You know, there's so much, like so much. That's why I'm giving those examples, because there's so much to choose from, so much to comment on, so much to rework, reference, rehash, so much to celebrate, right? Also, just a side note, there's so much references to Gilded Age and modern archival couture. Why not go for the vintage Vivienne Westwood, for example? Christian Lacroix was genius in this subject. Galliano's tenure at Dior, ready-made ensembles, ready to be dusted off and put on red carpet to be alive again, and it would hit the mark 10,000%. And you didn't. Why is that? Explain yourself. We need to know. Come on, it's not that difficult. Yet, we got this. Also, and this is kind of like my main beef here, but how come people weren't able to even figure out the right epoch, like the right time period? How is this happening? I mean, the bare minimum, you know, 35 grand a ticket. Whole teams of stylists, and just literally 2 clicks away on your smartphone to check that Gilded Age is not Art Deco, and Art Deco is not Gilded Age, and Gilded Age is not Art Deco, and Art Deco is not fucking Gilded Age, my friend. Why would you not use your fucking thumb and literally grab the little fucking brick that you hold in your pocket and just type it in 2 clicks away? Why? It's like saying you thought 1980s were 1950s actually. Yeah, it's the same thing. 35 grand. That, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that. This one, that one. Thank you, thank you. I mean, it literally makes you look super lazy at best. Fucking ignorant. And just downright illiterate at worst. I'm sorry, but we all have Google, people. We all have smartphones. 2 clicks away.
I honestly didn't really think about it.
If you can't be bothered to check it, why don't you just, like, you have a team of stylists. Like, those people know their stuff. Just ask them. Like, they'll check it for you. Yeah. 2 clicks away. I mean, this is just an offense to the event itself. Who cares about art, right? Like, Met Gala who? Met Gala what? The fucking cheek. And I mean, listen, it's just... It's literally... bare fucking minimum, my friend. Bare minimum.
Why is no one ready?
And I mean, you didn't even have to know all these things that I just said about Gilded Age. You didn't really have to be some like history buff and just like study every minor detail about the period, you know, like some fucking little dweeb that I am, obviously. There is a whole HBO show that premiered this year, literally named Gilded Age, The Gilded Age. All you had to do while in prep for the Met Gala is just sit down and check out the show, because it has literally all of this that I'm saying is there, you know, the silhouettes, the shades, the cuts, the cultural vibe, it's all there. It's literally handed to you by HBO on a silver gilded plate. Like,
it's not quite as simple as that.
Yes, it is.
and listen, don't get me wrong. I mean, some people really did step the game up. Some of them were absolutely on point when it comes to the theme. You see the kind of Gilded Age silhouette throughout. You see the hats. It wasn't entirely tragic. You know, we had people like Sarah Jessica Parker, who was, I believe, referencing the kind of plate of the works of Elizabeth Keckley, and she had amazing hats. Billie Eilish, Billie Eilish, thank you, girl, thank you. She got the assignment. Why so many other people didn't? We have a lot of little Oscar Wilde moments, and you know, with the capes and the little aesthetic movement, especially menswear with the capes and the little bows. That was amazing. That was exactly on point. There was a bit of Rococo revival, for example, which also is period correct. There was tendency for the historization and aestheticization of the garments in like historical kind of styles. Although not every kind of Rococo revival worked. For example, she wears the 1920s idea of the Rococo revival, which kind of harks back to 1920s, not the late 19th century. Do you know what I mean? The fucking Art Deco thing just annoyed me so much. Also, there was a lot of international houses rather than American ones. But I'm not really mad at that, because like this very kind of choice of having European design itself is very much so within the Gilded Age spirit. Back in the day, especially the Nouveau Riche, to kind of appease the tastes of the old money types, for them to look good, they needed to be connected to European culture. And Paris was fashion at the time. According to Strasden, the American designers didn't have their moment, really, up until the First World War, which disrupted the situation in Europe, obviously. It was a kind of like a status thing to show that you could have gone overseas to Paris for the fitting, and you could actually order the dress that was like exorbitantly expensive. And that kind of gave you this air of cosmopolitanism and this air of old world Europe, which kind of gave you an old money vibe to you. So in a sense, the Gucci's, the Versace's, the Dior's of the red carpet are in the spirit of the Gilded Age itself, even though that we are celebrating American fashion. Does that make sense? And listen, again, harking back to the styles itself, I'm not saying everyone should wear corset or a bustle, and that everyone has to be very literal with the theme. Like, that's not my point. All I'm saying is that you can kind of break the rules while still kind of knowing them. Like, you need to know the rules to know which rules to break, while still trying to say what needs to be said. Do you know what I mean? Why take one aspect and just make the deconstruction? Like here, for example, you can cross-gender reference like here. You don't have to, if you don't feel comfortable with the stays and hyper femininity, you can always go for the cape, for example, like Christine Baranski did. God bless her. Christine Baranski actually played a role in the Gilded Age a show, you know, the HBO show. She played, and like she understood the assignment as well. Like she maybe didn't feel comfortable in, you know, a bustle, but she went for the, you know, Oscar Wilde cape moment. And yeah, you can do that. Amazing, great, fabulous. Also, look at Lizzo. Look at the aesthetic gown that kind of like harks back to the anti-corset movement of the times. That's very, you know, that's clever. That's the commentary. That's the way to play around and connect with the theme and have a discussion about it by the use of the medium itself. You know, that's the whole fucking point of the night. This is what I'm trying to say all the time. And the rest can get the fuck out. Like, what is this? What is that? What the hell is this? This is not 1950s. This is not 1970s. Why are you in this? By ignoring this, you disrespected this exhibition. That's the truth. On the literal level, not providing the basic courtesy of doing as you were asked of for the gala, but also on the intellectual level, not respecting the art form you were invited here to promote and to celebrate by expressing yourself through it via concrete subject matter, which is the theme. This theme being today, Gilded Glamour. Also, kind of by proxy, you also kind of disrespected your own heritage by shitting on, you know, the Met's proposal of cultural celebration of your own history, kind of. But, I mean, whatever, that's on you. It kind of also implicates that by proxy, you know what I mean? There were also, like, meh kind of things, like, they were passable, but, I mean, nothing too excited. Some people took it very literally, you know, a gilded glamour, and just, like, went for the gilded, like, in a literal term. Yeah, that's gilded. Yeah, this is gilded as well. That's for sure is a gold. Yeah, golden score, my friends. So, I mean, not the best, but at least passable. And at least it's not this or that. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I know I'm rambling right now. Those people are too well equipped to make those mistakes. Like, it just comes from sheer fucking ignorance, and that's it. My bottom line is, there's so many more artists that would have understood the assignment in your place and would have delivered and would have been grateful to be interested in finding out what it is that they're being asked of. Right, Courtney?
Didn't really think about it.
We are here to celebrate the exhibition. If you can't be bothered, then guess what? Crazy idea. Maybe you shouldn't come. Crazy, right? Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know where these things come from, honestly. On that very fatal note. Oh fuck, it's still whiskey. I forgot about this. I forgot that I put it in there. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I just needed to take it out of my system. Rant's over. What do you think about this? What do you think? What did you thought about Met Gala? Did you like the outfits? Do you what is your favorite? What did you guys think about me being super crazy and unhinged about the whole endeavor? Because I obviously was. Sorry, I do apologize. Do you think I'm maybe too much bothered about this? No, don't tell me the truth. Don't do that. Scratch that, scratch the last one. Do you think that people shouldn't be invited when they're not adhering to the dress code? What are your thoughts? I'm really curious what you guys think about that. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada. Alright, see you next time. I'm out. Peace.